First things first, I love max cushion shoes, and Puma's Nitro Forever Run is similar to Nike's Invincible 3 sort of, or Asics Gel Nimbus 25, or New Balance's More V4. But one thing that Puma's Nitro Forever Run actually is that the rest of them aren't, the support and the stability in this shoe. We have to talk about it. My name is Aubrey. I'm a very average runner, simply trying to be less average by the day, as at the time of filming this, you've given me 6,911 subscribers. Thank you very much. We're nearing that 7,000 mark. If you're on Instagram, you want to catch up with me, follow me, over here, catch me on there. We talk running shoes, my weight loss journey. Just connect with me, let's get in touch. Let's start with the shoe review, and as always, on my shoe reviews, I always start with the 3 things you need to know about every single shoe, starting with the price. This will cost you $140 straight from the Puma website, £140 that is. I'm based in the UK. Second thing we need to talk about is the weight. This is a 9.5 UK. I weighed it and it came in at 298 grams. Let's talk stack height. 36 mil at the back, 26 at the front, being a 10 mil drop. So let's start with the review, and as always, start from the top, work our way down, from the back, work our way forwards. Starting with the heel, I love the heel tab. Any shoe that starts with having a heel tab is a win for me. When you're putting the shoe on and you have to stick your thumb in to pull the shoe up, sometimes you can get your thumb trapped, and that is quite painful. So when shoe manufacturers provide that heel tab, it's a welcomed touch. The heel itself, I didn't have any problems with heel slips. There is a padding inside there that when you put the shoe on, it is quite comfortable, but more importantly, when you tie the laces down, your heel's not gonna be slipping in and out. So I don't have any issues there. It is quite a thick and well padded, and I prefer that rather than the fast shoes that almost give you this narrow material at the heel without that padding. So this is welcomed. Next up, let's talk about the tongue. It's gusseted. For those not aware, gusseted means that the tongue is actually attached in the inside of the shoe, and this tongue is actually attached on both sides. The reason why that's important, when you put the shoe on, it gives you the same experience every time, as opposed to having to fiddle with the tongue every time you put the shoe on. So this, to me, is very much a welcome touch. In terms of the feel of the tongue, it's got a double looping system on the tongue that allows the laces to crisscross. I really like that. But on top of that, the tongue itself is actually breathable. That is a very intentional touch from Puma, and well done on that. Let's talk about the lacing system. It's simple. I always say this. Shoe manufacturers don't complicate lacing systems. Put holes in that bad boy, reinforce those holes, and let the laces do its thing. I didn't have any problems with the texture of the laces coming undone or anything like that, so I can't really complain. But these are very standard laces. There is nothing special about them, and sometimes that's all you need. The upper is always discussed in terms of 2 things. 1, aesthetics, how does it look, as well as technical performance. Let's start with the latter. It is highly breathable. I didn't have any problems with this. If you look actually closely, whilst it looks quite thick, it's a very well-engineered mesh, and it's very breathable. I didn't have any problems with it. I actually got it in the height of the heat wave here in the UK, and I didn't struggle with it one bit. I've done several runs in this shoe, no problems. The other bit in terms of technical performance, Puma has this thing called power tape. Essentially, if you look, spread all around the shoe are reinforcements. These are lines that kind of hold that upper together. When you put the shoe on, it actually reinforces the fit of the shoe, but strangely without confining you and restricting your foot. It's a welcome touch in terms of the resilience as well as the secure hold within the upper. So in terms of the aesthetics, I'll have to be honest here. This is probably the least good-looking shoe I own from Puma. I own a few, and everything about the other shoes speaks beauty, speaks intentional aesthetics. This is probably the tamed of them all in terms of the look. I have the DVA Nitro Elite 2, and that, in terms of colorway and design, perfect. I've got the Nitro Elite Fast Star Perfect. The look of those shoes, when you compare it to this looks kind of no frills in a little bit. So maybe that's the one thing I would say is the downside of this shoe. Let's move on to the midsole. The first thing you're going to notice, the rocker shape. What I mean by that is if you actually look at the shoe, there is an accentuated lift at the top that does help you with the running and toeing off. That is great. The other thing I have to talk about is this performance insole. I don't normally talk insoles, but you know what? These guys have been very intentional in how they've built this insole. It is shaped to welcome your foot, to hold your foot. I don't normally talk insoles, guys, but Puma has been very intentional here, and I have to acknowledge that. Right, I'll put that in later on. Okay, so let's talk about the support. The stability that this shoe offers is not as far as the Kayanos or the general stability shoes I've tried. It's a very subtle stability that you don't actually need to be an overpronator to enjoy this shoe and the max cushioning it offers. I'm just going to be honest. I struggled with the Kayano because the stability and the support really is designed to be there for someone that overpronates. So if you don't overpronate and you run in the Kayano, some people have fared well with it. I didn't. I didn't have a problem with this one. The support system, the stability in this is a bit more tame compared to that. The other thing is if you look at the back of the shoe, you will see this TPU system. They're calling it the run guide system that also supports with holding your foot and offering you that stability. So mixed with the configuration that they have with this midsole and a run guide system, it offers you a very subtle support that helps you if you do overpronate, but also just offering you a bit of stability even if you don't. And the midsole itself, two types of foams. You've got a gentler, softer foam at the very top, and that's what's closest to your foot, with the firmer one at the bottom that kind of helps with the return of energy as well as offering you a bit more stability, which we talked about before. That kind of intentional design, when manufacturers put in two types of foams, tells you they're considering the comfort that the shoe offers, but not compromising its performance in doing so. So for me, it's why I compared this shoe, the feel of it, to the Nimbus, to the More V4, to the Invincible, because I love the comfort this offers. I'm going to be very honest that even if you're not buying this for running, honestly, it's a great shoe to just walk in. Next up, let's turn this upside down. I'm going to make a bold statement here. This outsole that Puma offers, they call it Puma Grip. Apart from Mizuno's Wave Rebellion Pro, I've never experienced any grip better than Puma's. It's as simple as that. Puma offers the best grip in terms of the outsole that I have ever seen. The next thing is the coverage. When you turn it around, there aren't any exposed areas within this outsole that you would worry about wearing away that are not covered with this strong Puma grip. For me personally, I think Puma has the best outsoles out there, bluntly. Okay, so let's summarize this with who is this shoe for and should you buy it? This is for anyone that wants an easy day shoe, a long run shoe that is very well cushioned. And I'm talking exceptionally cushioned, but you also want to find something with a bit more stability than the usual max cushion shoe. And this is why I say this in a class of its own because of that stability it offers. Tesco test. Would I wear this just walking around everywhere? Absolutely. With this top that I'm wearing too. I love the color. I don't own many shoes this color. And if I'm honest, I'll probably wear this more just walking around than I do running. Just me. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you found this useful, informative, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would be great to have you. And the guys at Puma, thank you very much for sending me this shoe for review. It's genuinely appreciated.